Welcome, guys. I just wanted to do an update just because I put on here that I was going to delete my social media apps and then I was just going to check in on YouTube. So here's my first attempt of checking in, of even letting you guys know. I wanted to tell someone about it, but you guys are the people I need to be telling about it. So with that, I made a list of things I wanted to trade my life for. And I think there's a thing we always hear about, people trading their life to the devil or something like that, right? And it's something that's very scary, and we can see because of how evil people are in life, right? It's just whether you believe in the devil or not, it's like you sell your soul for something, whether it's good or bad. If you can sell it for bad, then you can sell it for good as well. But selling it for good comes with a heavier price tag because it's harder things to do. And that's why people go the other way, right? Whether you believe that or not, that's a different story for a different day. But I think that there's polarities to everything, that if we are able to do, if we are able to do bad things, then we're able to do good things just as much, right? So being able to understand that there's polarities to everything, understands that there's both options available if there's one option available. So always know in your heart what the more positive, loving, caring option is, and use it as your option every time. If you love, serve people, and just care like you're a human, right? You're supposed to. One, every single religion in the world, the number one thing they teach about is love. So I battled with the longest time of being able to understand religion and actually understand God. And because I don't want to say that I'm a Christian, but I also don't want to say that I don't believe things in the Bible, right? There's a lot of stories in the world, and the number one story you should listen to is, well, what's happening now, and are you loving everything? Like loving the person that you're with, loving the things that you're doing, and you're fully engaged in those things. Like if you're cleaning something, clean it like you love it, right? So being able to understand that, and then things just happen easy. I have people ask me all the time, where do you get the energy to do that stuff? And it's like, well, when we're kids, we're talked about doing something you love so it doesn't feel like work. What if you love everything you do and then it stops feeling like work? What happened to that? Like, why can't we do that? But it's not something that everyone will take the time to do. That's why. Because you have to trade some things for that. And for me, I made a list of things that I kind of feel like, for me, are the things I would have to trade for that abundant life of everything I ever wanted and able to do. So I wrote on here the things I will do with self-discipline. So what I wrote on this page before is self-discipline is the key to success. Now, I was at church the other day, and they talked about Mark, right? They talked about the fig tree and trusting and everything like that. Now, everything that the preacher talked about was true, but he just wasn't saying it the way that the Bible was saying it. And the Bible said it pretty clear as day, and it said it actually in a better way than he could, right? So what I got out of the message, out of the Bible, was forgiveness is the key to trust. You have to forgive people to move past them, right? That is the first step to anything, is forgiving yourself and others, because you need to reset yourself. You can't just carry that around. You have to be reset in order to approach it purely and be able to love properly. You can't love if you carry that around. So forgiveness is the first key to trust, okay? Trust is the key to faith. Faith is the key to the garden. Now, when I talk about the garden, in the Bible, it talks about it as a physical place. Men have always been looking for a physical place of like El Dorado, they got like Atlantis, they got like all these places that people are chasing after. And you know, the number one unexplored thing that we encounter that we should explore the most is our own brain. Do you know when you have like anxiety and you're freaking out and you're thinking to yourself, like, what the heck? And you take that second and you say, you can first, this is how I do it. I'm so overwhelmed with everything that I stop and I remember how to breathe. Because when I am meditating, the number one thing I am thinking about is everything. But the number one thing we never think about is breathing. So thinking hardly about the most simplest thing that can slow our heart rate down the fastest is something that we should be doing. So take a second, breathe, reset, let it out, and then now you can go to it purely. You're able to do this any time of the day and completely reset yourself. You could do this while you're walking. You could do this while your eyes are open. You could do this while you sit there in bed. You could do this before sleep. You could do this when you wake up. You could do this at the gym. I love it at the gym. I will take a second, pull the weight down, push it back up. Control your breathing. Hold it, put it down, push it back up. See, it's just, it's not a coincidence is one. And two, it's a way that we are able to reset as humans. So, reset yourself. Forgive people as well. And when I say the garden, I mean the garden is the possibilities in our life. It's riches, it's possibilities. So this is like we are spiritual beings living in physical bodies, right? But if we were able to say we were rich, would say we are in heaven, right? Because it is so beautiful and put together that it's just pure. What if we were placed here to experience heaven, but, you know, they say it in the Bible, they say it in all these stories and everything, like if you are not faithful, then you will never make it to heaven or wherever these places, the afterlife or be rebirthed or whatever, like, right? All of these places always talk about an afterlife, but what if the afterlife, like my thing is they celebrate the afterlife because they know where they're going. The only thing is if we are spiritual beings living in physical bodies, if you ever experience that nothing and how pure and abundant it is, then you would say, yeah, I want it to be pure and abundant there. But it's so pure and abundant there with nothing that you're able to have everything physically manifested in front of you here, and you don't, because you don't trust and you don't love as purely as you do up there, and you have nothing up there. There's nothing. And it doesn't mean that you need the things down here. It just means that you are trusting and loving the process and others as much as possible. And you're able to teach people about it along the way as well. You don't have to just keep it to yourself. You can teach people. So with that, that is the garden. And there's so much of it that everyone is able to access it. It's not even something that we'll run out of. Love, tell me how much love you can have before you run out of it. You just literally can't. So good luck with that, right? I mean, if you have that run out, then we need to talk, is what it is. So for me, these are the things I will trade in order to get that. And these things I have been battling with my whole life. Not my whole life, but like, I know you have a list of things you know if you changed it that everything would be different, but you never let these things go. Like, you always have to have it. And that is us not trusting ourselves fully and completely and doing the things we know that we should be doing and loving ourselves completely. Because if someone else did this stuff as consistently as we do to ourselves of doing it the wrong way, then we would kick them out of our lives. We'd be like, no, dude, get out of my life. Dude, you can never keep your word. You're never doing that. Like, you're always going against what you say. Always. Anytime at this one subject, you're always doing it. So we have to do it for ourselves as well. But take a second, forgive yourself, restart, and come at it with a different approach. There's a Bible verse. It was Romans 12:2. I did a video on, you guys can watch that as well, but Romans 12:2, it's a good Bible verse. Look it up. I didn't say that the Bible's the only way. Maybe there's another book that has that same way of saying that, but in a different sentence. I know there is, because it's such beautifully said that I think anyone could say that in their own way, and it would always be good, right? So because of that, I know that there's more than one way it's said, not just the Bible. So don't just read the Bible and say, this is the only way. It says, no, the intentions of it are the only way. So, and we don't have to label everything either. We don't have to have a specific book that gives us it. The book did a good job. It was my version of like a dictionary, right? So just understand that they're all right in their own ways. But the number one thing is loving and trusting yourself and being disciplined with that in order to have the things that you know that you should have. And by loving others always, because that's the only way to even do that other stuff purely and completely, or else you'll get burned out. So, and then with that, you're able to be in heaven. So love yourself, but wake up at 5:30 for me. It's just something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I did the math today, and I have like these 6 videos that I know every morning I want to listen to, because they rewire my brain to think a certain way, and I need to listen to them before I work or do anything, because if I'm able to, then I will remember the things that I remember, that I want to remember during the day. It's a completely different day if I listen to them versus if I don't. And writing in my journal, if I do it every day, I have been so inconsistent this year compared to last year that it is, you can see my differences. Like, I can notice the differences on what I do. And it wasn't like a thing where I didn't want to do the things. It was just like the discipline behind it, you know. But waking up earlier will give me the time to listen to and write in my journal the way I want. It'll also give me the time to work out in the morning before work the way I know I should be doing, right? Stop using dating apps. I don't even know why I even give it time when I understand that it's there to brainwash me. And why would I ever want to meet my wife on a dating app? And plus, if I'm on a dating app, like, when do I have time to do that? Like, I should be doing other things instead of just sitting there swiping for 45 minutes a day or an hour a day. Like, I have a lot of other things I could be doing that are better for my time. And what's the point, dude? Like, I already know half the dang conversations lead to nothing. And then if they do lead to something, then it's like, all I'm thinking about is it progressing into, like, sex. And if I think about that, then I'm obviously thinking about the wrong things, because I am not in the position of life where I want to be. And I don't think that I deserve that unless I use that. I believe testosterone is pretty much like a superpower. It does a lot for you. And being able to keep that to yourself, like, think about how valuable that is to keep to yourself. And then how much more valuable it'll be to your brain to know that you physically want it, but then to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And you control it to where you don't. It's kind of like fasting in a way. Obviously, it's like, at a point, yeah, you need to eat, but it's like you decide to eat versus the eating decide to, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. So, but then just use it as motivation. So if you really can't wait that long, then you have a problem. But just use it as motivation. Say, I want it more, so work more to get to that position to where you can be so you can have it. So do that. You're able to do that. I suggest doing that. I will fill out my planner the night before. So I have a checklist of everything that I need to do the next day, right? So my next day is planned out. Now the things in between, obviously they're scheduled to be different, but the stuff I have planned on there need to get done, and I'll give myself a window of time on when it needs to get done. I did this for a while and it worked really well. It doesn't take much time to do. The night before is a good time to do it. So then I can think about it when I sleep and wake up and when I'm listening to my things for that day. So, and it's a good checklist to have because then I at least know what I am doing and I can write in my book, the updates. And you'll have multiple books. Like I have a planner and then I have a journal. So you'll be able to see the updates in both places. And the reason why I'm documenting this stuff is because I want people to know that it is possible for themselves to do. That is the number one reason, is because I love everyone so much. I'm trying to do my best with this, man. I really do love everyone so much that I want to discipline myself enough to teach a lesson, but I don't want it to be about me. I want it to literally be about the things I'm doing so that everyone else can do the same thing. That is it. The reason why is because I always thought about being able to teach people and lead people, and I feel like God called me to do that. But then I also understand that, maybe I just knew growing up because of the way I thought that, we should be loving and caring. I cared more about loving my family and others than I did about myself, and I didn't even understand what it meant to even love. But then I moved away from that when I got older, once I started learning about opinions of myself and other people. So don't let yourself do that. And the number one way I'm able to do that now is by loving everyone purely, and so it's so good and beautiful. But it's okay that you have a past because you learn from it. Now just refocus and do the future. So fill my planner out every night. I just decided on this one as well. So run a marathon. Running a marathon is a body and a mind reset. It is something that people don't ever do their whole lives. A lot of people are afraid of it. Even people that run will do a 5K or a 10K, but are afraid of a marathon. Now, here's the deal with the marathon. You actually don't have to run it. You can go runs, I have energy, let me run it out. And then you're like, okay, I'm out of energy, I gotta walk. A marathon does not have a time limit. And if you think about it, you walk enough in a day that you could probably walk a marathon if you just walked and listened to music. If you had to walk somewhere for something, you'd be like, all right, cool, I'll just walk there. I'll have to do it. I have no choice. 26 miles. You have to visit someone somewhere for some reason, right? And you have no way but to walk. You'd make yourself walk. Not even like it's that hard because it's like a 5-hour walk. You walk all day long. So, anyways, run a marathon. But I did just decide, I texted my barber again. One guy that I see that's doing something, and I did this to myself last year. I saw a big difference, and that's why I want to cut my hair so much. Everyone loves my hair and everything, but I love the way it looks. But the purpose behind it is because I like the attention I get from other people. That's the reason I like it. Now, I like my short hair. The purpose behind it is I like thinking about my younger self every day I wake up and look in the mirror, because my younger self knows and has been thinking this way since I was a kid. So I want to prove him that we can do this. And plus, I don't need the attention of other people. I don't. And I don't want it. If people don't, if women, that's what it is, women, because I'm afraid if I cut it, I'm going to let them go, right? First of all, I shouldn't be focused on them unless I have my goals set up, right? I can't even have sex until I have my shit done. So what's the point? So stop talking to them, right? But the next thing is cut my hair. I'm going to cut my hair on the 4th. I'm going to run the marathon on the 5th, my birthday. And then probably on the 6th, which is that Monday, I'm going to pick up trash for the day or something. I don't know. Or the 4th. I don't know. We'll see. So, next one is love everything as much as I can. And that is not just people. That is everything. So I'm picking up garbage. I'm love picking up this garbage. People always ask me when I pick up garbage, hey, why are you picking that up? And I'm like, well, honestly, before I was just like, you know what? I'm walking, I seen a piece of garbage, and I was like, dang, yeah, I seen these videos of these turtles and shit, right? And I'm just like, oh yeah, sad turtle, straw, let me pick it up, blah, 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 right? But then what I did was, then I just started seeing other things that were garbage, and I'm like, am I only gonna pick up straws, or is it just like that should be put in there too? Like, I have hands, it's not hard. It's not like I'm spending 10 minutes doing it. I just stepped over it. I should probably just pick it up and throw it away. It's just the least I could do. I'm walking towards that direction anyways. My hands are empty. Just pick it up and throw it away, And then I started just doing it. And now I do it. I actually hate getting attention for it because people act like it's a big deal, and they literally can do it themselves. That's how big of a deal it is. And I do obviously like it if someone sees it and then they get inspired by it, so then they do it. But I don't like the thought of you're a special person because you're picking up trash. If that is what a special person is, that's really sad. We should probably rethink what a special person is if picking up trash was the benchmark of being some amazing, special person. That's pretty sad. I know kids that probably pick up more trash than most adults, but that's why I'm saying it's not a big deal. Like, it is what it is. Not everything has to be a big deal. So but it's the thought of loving it that is a big deal. Loving just doing things, like, even if it's something that, like, if you didn't love, you wouldn't do anything properly. Like, you have to love the things you do a little bit in order for you to even do them properly. Like, if you don't love your job, you're not going to do 100%. You know what I mean? You're just going to do like some half-ass job. But if you're doing something you love, you'll do 100%. Like, if you loved video games or music or drawing or art or watching TV, if you loved it, then you would give it your time. You would memorize the TV show. You would do your best painting. You would get the highest level, all of that stuff. What if we loved everything and then we got rewarded for it, Like, we kind of have to think about it differently. It's like the religions, again, it says love like everything. It's not just, it says love your neighbor, yeah, but I mean, everything is connected in some way. It's affected by something else, like always, If you're able to tap into that, then obviously it's just something that it's not, like, why would it ever be a bad thing to piggyback off of something else anyways? Like, when you're around people, you literally can feel that you piggyback off of the energy that they give. If they're mad and depressed and like sad people, then you're going to feel that way too. If they're happy, if you're around your friend that is like full of excitement and happy all the time and loves to have fun, then you're going to feel that way. You're like, I like hanging around them because I like to have fun and they like to have fun. So it's like, do it. But with everything, right? And and it's impossible to not be around people that are negative, and I understand that, but don't let it affect your mood though. And you're always able to give them advice, right? So give them advice. Love them and treat them like you wanted to be treated if you were feeling that way. Don't entertain it and don't put fuel on the fire. That's it. So with that, love everyone. Only do phone calls or in person. I need to stop going on my phone. Really, like the only reason I should be going on my phone is if I have to do something for like bank information or anything like that, if I need to work, or if I need to look something up, right? It's like a miniature laptop. Besides that, a fucking phone for entertainment all day, watching TV, scrolling. That's like literally it. It's like scrolling on your feed is like watching TV. It's actually worse because you do it more. You do it when you're on the toilet. Like you can't just go to the bathroom, dude. You have to fucking sit on your phone. It's kind of gross. And think about it. It is literally gross. So use it for business and work. But if I need to talk to someone, I do it on a phone call, or I do it on a in person. And anyone that doesn't care about that for me, then why would I want them in my life anyways? Like, why do they deserve my time to talk to unless they care about doing that? So, it's okay to leave people behind, you know? So I have a list of, it's my family, by the way, literally only, I would say my family and my 2 roommates. That's it. That's all it is. My family and my 2 roommates, the only people that can get text messages from me, because it's going to be like an emergency, I'll text them. But I really want to get rid of my phone, turn it off, take it off the, well, I'll still pay for it, but I want to get a flip phone and then leave this phone like as in my pocket, but like use my flip phone for like calling and stuff like that. So I'll just tell the people I love I got a new number and I can't text anymore. So no porn or sex until I can afford my dream. And also, that means no relationship either. Yeah, I wrote on my thing for things I want as a dad, right? A list of things I needed to be the perfect husband or father. And on the list it says wait till relationship for sex. I love sex. This is going to be really hard. But like I said, it's a trade, so self-discipline is a big deal. But also, I need that testosterone and I need to be motivated. This stuff is supposed to motivate me to get the stuff done faster that I want to do. That's what it should be doing. And it's also good to face the things that you're afraid to face the most, right? So if that's something I love the most and I'm afraid to face it, then I will be overran by that thing. And also, that's like loving these things more than I do for myself. Like, why would you ever be okay with loving these things more than you do for yourself, you know? And then only smoking when I don't work the next day. So I came to the conclusion, I do like smoking because it makes me think. But I came to the conclusion of this is only something, if I was to do it, that I needed to only do monitored, right? In ways that I can know it's not debilitating me from the things that I have on my list, right? And why do I deserve it as much? Like, I should not give it to myself as much as I can. I should only give it to myself in portions, just like eating and everything like that. You only give yourself a certain amount, a budget. You budget it out. So only days that I don't work the next day, okay? So, and with that, I love you guys. This was a pretty big update on here. I'm sure I will update a lot more probably this weekend, after this weekend, when I cut my hair and do that marathon. I know that marathon, this is why I'm banking. I love this. One, I ask God every day lately, show up in my life and show me something, and he does every time. That's the crazy part. And second part is I'm getting closer and closer to being 100% faithful in my own thoughts and the things I love, that it's only a matter of time. And this matter of time is right now. And if anything, physical change is good. Mental change is good. So cutting my hair off, boom, good. Waking up different time every day, at the same time every day, early enough to listen to my things and write in my journal, which really promote me to think that way again. Boom, perfect. And then physically running a marathon when I can't. Dude, I ran 2 miles at the gym the other day. Listen, I was supposed to prepare for this marathon, and then I thought about it and I said, oh, well, I don't need to prepare for it. I'll just do it as good as I can. Listen, yeah, I did that. But listen, now I got to face the consequences because I didn't prepare for it like I said I would. But then I thought about it. I kind of deserve the consequences of how my body's going to feel after that marathon because of me not being dedicated enough to myself or disciplined to even take the time to kind of prepare for it. I deserve to feel that like shit. You know what I mean? I deserve it because I didn't listen to myself. And it's kind of like a, you know, I kind of deserve it. I need to teach myself a lesson sometimes. And I think I'll teach myself a lesson that's a long lesson, by the way. Running 26 miles, as much as it's going to be time alone, it's going to be a lesson. It's going to be like a whole story I could tell by how much time I'm going to spend alone just running. And by the way, it's not going to all be running. I'm probably going to walk, but that'll be really good. Cut my hair, waking up early, doing my journal and everything that I know works, running a marathon physically, and then taking the 3 things, marijuana, obviously, controlling that to where it is only used when I decide to use it. Women, which they control my mind, my time, and all that, right? And making sure I love everything that I do, 100%, right? The porn and like the sex or masturbation shit, that falls under the woman category because it's kind of related to the same thing. So being able to do all 3 of those, weed, women, and love, there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful within the next few months. It's just easy enough once you tap into it. I think so. No, I know so because I've been putting it off my whole life because I was afraid of losing out on things that I cared about so much, but really the things never cared about me. So it's like, why give it the time of day, you know? Those things don't care about me. So, but what I do care about is myself. That is why I decided to do these things. And I'm so excited about it too. I can't wait for the people that do see this stuff to see it and understand that they can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. I just want you to start, please. And the number one way I suggest is love yourself. Tell yourself, write it down. Write your stuff down. Write down your goal, exactly what it wants to look like. You are what you think about. So if you write it down physically and you read it, say it out loud, you're going to start thinking about it a lot more, you know? You can be anything you want to be. They tell us that when we were kids and we never listen to it or believe it. You can be anything you want to be. Feelings flow. So if you want to love, if you want to feel loved, you have to love others, right? And it isn't until you stop thinking about it coming from other places that you're able to actually fully and embracingly love people, right? So things we care about, which would be like women and weed for me, right? Or attention to, pride, ego, you know, all that stuff. It isn't until you stop worrying about it is that you can love other people purely and fully and to your highest potential. So stop worrying about it. Stop using your phone. Only check in. Do a check-in on YouTube. Like this. Love you guys. And I love myself. I made a Kick account because I saw Aiden Ross switched over there. And I put my name as I Am That I Am. I'm going to see if I'm able to post on there as well with these videos. Only because if I'm able to start something on there as well as, I don't know what Aiden's doing. I don't see all of it. But from my understanding, he's kind of doing the same stuff I'm doing. If this is a platform I'm able to do that on and skip all the steps of having to worry about it, then I would do that. But if I'm able to just do it purely and lovingly everywhere, then obviously having it more than one place is a good place to have it. So, peace.